Hey everybody, it's Book of Katherine, and I'm sorry that I can't be all pretty for you today. So it's just not possible, and it might not be for a couple days. So I figure I'll just do this anyway. So, um, I want to talk to you about the video that I posted for the health update, and when I talked about Beck's serious health issues. Um, if you actually watch the video, it can be kind of scary slash terrifying if you watch his videos about his symptoms, because I haven't actually gone through my symptoms like he has. He makes it sound so easy to go through your symptoms like that. Like I was trying to imagine actually going through my symptoms like that, and it's paralyzing. The fear of actually doing that with you, to talk about all of my symptoms. Like, I've brushed over things. I have never actually gone through all of my symptoms. There's something like 45 symptoms. It's a lot. I think I've said that, but to actually go through them with you, he makes it seem so easy. But I think anyone who is sick, it's like reading your chart off to the world. That's extremely difficult to do. Um, and so what I want to say is this to clarify. So if you didn't get a chance to watch through that video, actually goes into, it's a, like, I think a 3 or 4 part series. And if you get to the end of them, he does actually get a diagnosis, and he does start to reverse the process of what he has. And what they figure out for him is that it's an autoimmune disease. Now, I said there's a lot of similarities with me, and I want to very quickly point out that um, there, I said there's a lot of similarities, but it's not the same. Like, obviously, he can still walk. He was still able to have a job. He's able to build a network. Um, and I do think that that's okay, let me give you an example of like symptom that at least he didn't mention that like I have. And when I said things like I said a word out in my video, and I said, like, I don't think it was disintegrating, or I said I'm degenerating. And what that means is like he talked about aging and things like that. And like I get that, like my hair is starting to turn white, and I'm like way too young for that. And I'm like, you've got to be joking. And my friends who are in the field are like, yeah, well, that's going to happen with where you're at and what it might be and stuff like that. That's actually normal. And then listening to Glenn, I'm like, right, 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 right. So, but there's so many different things out there. Like, if you have lupus, like, you can have shakes like that. Like, there's a lot of different things it can be. Um, um, but my point is like, for example, let me give you a good example of something like that I have that he doesn't have. That started for me and that has gotten increasingly worse. Let me give you an example. Um, like, my feet have been really cold, and this is something that started a while after the accident, and has increasingly gotten worse, which is my feet were really cold, and I didn't understand this, and now I'm starting to understand it. And especially with the last neurologist, the test that he did, I was like, oh. And what will happen is if he takes a roller, and it's this ice cold roller, like an ice cold uh like a metal roller. And if he starts it on the bottom at my toe, I won't feel the cold. He'll roll it up my leg, and I won't feel the cold until like he's past my knee. Um, and same thing with my arms. Like, I don't feel it on my arms, and it's just like, and it explains why, like, and like last year when I had the fires, remember how I used to tweet out, if you've been with me since the beginning, I used to tweet out that I love the fires and they used to warm me up and just help my body, and the wood stove fires were just so incredible. This year we put on the wood stove fires and I couldn't feel it. Like, I couldn't tell that, like, usually you can tell when it goes over, like, you can tell, oh, it's getting really hot, and you can, like, it's dangerous to leave me alone with the fire now because, my husband had to go to a work dinner, and he's like, so how's the fire? And I looked over, and it was like at nearly 1,000 degrees, and I didn't know. Now, usually, like, I'm sweating, melting, and I feel like the house is about to burn at like 1,000 degrees, and I was sitting right next to it. And I felt like the fire was just getting started. That's a big problem. Like, you know, and I can tell when I lay next to it, like, I can feel the fire. I can literally tell, like, along my legs, like, it's this feather pattern. Like, it's as if it charts my nervous system throughout my body, where at the very bottom of my feet, like, I feel the least, and as you travel up my body, I feel like I'm learning my nervous system, because it's literally this web, and it's like literally the feeling is like better as you get up my body. So it's just this fan of feeling throughout my body, and it just, like, I feel less and less as the body goes down, like, you know what I mean? Like, so it's kind of like I'm a tree, and it feels like the roots are kind of just losing their feeling or whatever, or their sensitivity, I guess I should say. And I don't think Glenn said anything like that. Now, I'm on a lot of meds and things like that. So, like I said, like, and that should have been a hint, like, why I can put my foot through a nail. I remember how I said I stepped on a nail and I didn't even know it. And I said, that's how many meds I'm on. No, that's how much feeling I've lost in my foot. Like, that's what that means. And yeah, I didn't catch that. I thought that's just how much meds I was on. And no, 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 no. So that's what's happening. And also, like, like that girl in the painting, that painting with the barn and the long fields, the fields of grass. And she's laying, it looks like it's in Oklahoma or Kansas or something like that. And she's laying on her side with her legs down, and she's looking up, and her hair is blowing behind her, and she's looking at that barn, but her legs are just behind her. And it's like supposed to be her with polio or whatever. But I was like, that's how I live my life. I live my life like with my legs just hanging behind me. But the thing is when they did the block on my legs, like, I got up and walked again. So it the accidents may be making them worse, or maybe it's that I know that if a concussion goes untreated, it can lead to an autoimmune disease. But whatever this is, like, this may be an autoimmune disease, I don't know. But this is its own thing, is what I was saying. Like, when you say it's the car accident, it means, like, the car accident broke your body and it just made you bad. It just made your body, it just broke your body. Well, no, this is like my nerves. Okay, like, this is a good example, the way my hands shake. Yeah, like, after the car accident, I could still sign my name. Like, I could still sign my name. I could still write a bunch of things. Like, and now I can't sign my name and things like that, and my vision's been going. And so things are getting worse, and car accidents don't do that. Like, whatever damage is done, that's the damage that's done. And then it either heals or it's permanent, it's like permanent damage, but your body doesn't continue to, like, does that make sense? Like, does that make sense? So whatever this is, it's like, it's something different. I don't know if that makes sense. So I just wanted to go through that a little bit and tell you that, there's similarities, but there's also differences, and that I'm not going anywhere. I don't want to scare anybody or anything like that, but that it's so important for us to share our experiences and share our life stories with each other. And that, what Glenn Beck did was just so important. And it may be like, it may be just that with my, I can think all these things. It's up to a doctor to decide and diagnose me and everything like that. But it may just be that my spine is so weak from all the accidents that once whatever came through with the nerves and stuff like that, I just can't walk. Maybe that explains, like, once you fix the nerves, like, I'm up and walking again or whatever. But, if you have a weak musculoskeletal system, once you add in muscle weakness, I don't know. We'll have to find out from the doctors or whatever. Um, but I just kept thinking, like, oh, for somewhere in there, and I've been thinking through it, and it's usually the doctors, they come in there and they ask where it starts and stuff like that. They keep asking, well, when did this start? And they keep asking questions, and they want to know when it started. And the problem is that, like, when I went to my first neurologist, like, the first thing he did is he did an MRI for the concussion. But what I went in for was this full body pain that was new. And yes, there was a concussion there, but then they'd be like, well, where did the concussion come from? And then it introduces the car accident, and then that always wonks things out. Um, and then they're like, well, and it gets really, really crazy. And but I'm realizing that first doctor really helped me out, because all the meds for any of this stuff, for all the different things that are, out there, whatever, that first neurologist really, he was on it. I was so lucky to get him, because he got me on so many great meds. And then my doctor here, that I eventually got, that I talked about, my good doctors, gosh, she's so amazing. She got me on the meds that uncurled me. Remember how Glenn Beck talked about being curled like in a fetal position? She got me on meds that uncurled me. Like, she just set me free, So she's just amazing. So anyway, so I just want to let you know that it's not as scary as all that. There are different symptoms. I don't think I'm going to have to go to the Brain Care Center in Dallas. I don't think so. I couldn't afford it anyway. He's Glenn Beck. Lucky him. So, well, I don't know. We'll get to that when that point comes. Yeah. All right. Anyway, but I don't think so. There's a lot of hope. There's a lot of hope instead of confusion now. And I know that might be hard for you guys who are functioning so well. But for someone who's been living with this for 10 years without any answers and just going downhill, 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 I'm coming out. That this is a lot of hope. So for me, everything's looking up. I'm so happy. I'm so happy. And I just feel like, I don't know, I'm so happy. And I'm really, like, it's a really different feeling. Like, I have 2 really big doctor's appointments on Monday and Tuesday. I'm actually looking forward to them instead of dreading them. It didn't used to be like that. I used to dread doctor's appointments. I used to dread them because they would just turn me down and say, no, again, you have to face this thing again. No, these 2 doctors are providing solutions. And all right, my hand's shaking too much. All right, I love you. I gotta go. Bye. Thank you so much for all your love and all your support, and for just being there this whole time. Because again, I wouldn't have gotten this far without you guys. I love you.